Welcome, I'm Bev Adams. I own an independent paper crafting business showcasing products from Stampin' Up. I made this beautiful card with a matching envelope. I use products from Stampin' Up. I sell these products and also a few items to make crafting more convenient. I have the free detailed directions for this project on my website, and you'll be able to click the links for the products to be taken to my online store. You'll see where to find all of that at the end of this video, so don't worry about taking notes. It's time to put stamps, ink, and paper together. I'm using ornamental envelopes and the coordinating envelopes dies. You can get these together as a bundle and save yourself 10%. For my greeting, I selected Tag Buffet, but you may have another greeting you like. You may want to use the layering circles dies. I'll be using the 'Tis the Season Designer Series paper. This paper has a lot of very wonderful background designs, and it features cherry cobbler and real red, garden green, and shaded spruce, along with whisper white and basic black. So some of these papers are really better for cherry cobbler, and some of them are really better for real red and garden green. I chose this design, so this is cherry cobbler and shaded spruce. You'll need an envelope, whisper white envelope, and my card base is cherry cobbler. I have a piece of that 'Tis the Season Designer Series paper that's 3 by 6, a piece that's 4 by 5 1/4, a piece of whisper white that's 4 by 5 1/4, a piece of whisper white that's 3 3/4 inch square. This piece is 1 1/8 by 3 3/4. This is just a piece of scrap. I have literally scrap paper that's 3 3/4 square just for setting up my card. I'll also be using some rhinestones. Probably going to be using some glue dots as well as dimensionals and some of this lovely dotted Swiss. I've cut myself a piece that's 12 inches, probably way too long. And I do have the shaded spruce and cherry cobbler ink. I have already scored my cardstock at 4 1/4 for the card base. And I'm going to go ahead and put this piece of Designer Series paper on the front of it. And I'll stamp 'Tis the Season right in the middle of this cardstock. And I'm stamping the large greeting, "May the good times of today become the cherished memories of tomorrow. Wishing you lots of love, joy, and happiness." And I'm going to stamp that right in the middle of the large piece of whisper white. Maybe up a little bit so I can not only sign my name, but maybe make a quick little note. Going ahead and putting this in the inside of the card. There are some little elements here that you could probably stamp in the corners. I'm not going to, but you could certainly decorate the inside a little bit more. So I am pulling in my Stamparatus, and I'm pulling in my scrap paper and a pencil, and I just want to plan where I'm going to put this piece. So think of this as the target. So I'm marking this, the outside lines, just so I know where to put that. The next thing I want to do is place this corner element in the bottom. So this is 1/4 inch in from the edge of my cardstock and 1/4 inch in from this side too. And I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. And then I'm going to fold this scrap paper in fourths. I want to be able to know where the center is. So I'm going to fold it this way and this way. And then I'm going to use the number 3 smooth circle die to cut out the center of this. Now if you don't have this circle die, find yourself a circle. Maybe you've got a glass or a jar lid. This is about 2 3/8 or so. And I received my new mini Stampin' cut and emboss machine. Isn't this the cutest thing ever? This folds up just like the big one, so it hardly takes any space. My desk area is not very large, so this is the one that's going to live on my desk, and my larger one will be available but not on my desk. So I'm trying to get that as close to the center as I can. You could measure this out. Customers will be able to order the new mini Stampin' cut and emboss machine January 5th, or join now and get it as part of your starter kit. So I have my corner piece in there, and now I am going to want to place this here to position this piece. And I just want the tiniest little bit of adhesive on here just to kind of hold it in place a little bit. I'm going to those corners that I marked. And then I'm turning this over, and I want to place, so my folds marking the center here, and I want to put this wreath piece right kind of on the edge of that circle, and maybe pull this one out just a tiny bit. You'll notice that this piece goes in a little bit, so we don't want to quite overlap too much. And I think that will be perfect placement. But before I commit, I want to do a little sample here. So I'm putting my other scrap of 2 3/4 square, and I'm inking up my stamp, and I'm stamping, and then I'm rotating 1/4 90 degrees. Looks like that piece is actually a little bit out of whack. So let me see if I can place that a little bit better. There we go. Okay, and inking, stamping. That overlap looks good. Turn. That placement looks good too. Inking and stamping. I'm usually glad when I do a test run like this. Ink and stamp. And I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do this on the real thing. And I'm going to put a stamp case underneath so I get a better base. I didn't really care about my stamping the first run through, but now I'm doing the real thing. Pull in another plate. I could have cleaned off that plate and just use that same one. I'm placing my piece back where it belonged. And we've got these kind of polka dotty pieces. And I think I'm going to place that. You can really place this anywhere on the circle. Pick that up. Make sure this didn't move. And we'll ink those berries. I guess they're berries. And stamp those. And that piece is done. I do want to stamp these little flowers. You get 3 flowers on the same stamp. And I want probably 3 stamps, so 9 flowers is probably plenty. Might as well do a 4th one while I'm at it. And bringing in my little mini Stampin' Emboss machine. And there's these 3. So because all 3 of them are on the same piece on both the die and the stamps, we don't have to worry about placing those 3. And we'll run that one through. And while I have this out, I'm going to go ahead and cut out my piece for the envelopes. So I'm using the number 2 envelope flap piece. This is the second from the largest. And I'm going to place this with the scallop edge near the edge of the Designer Series paper. And then, so that cuts out the flap, and I just need to snip up to the cut. To do the envelope, we're putting adhesive just on this top edge. And without touching this to the paper just yet, we're sliding it in and positioning it below the adhesive. I'm trying to center it. There you go. And then holding this down at the fold so it doesn't move and kind of helping it fold on that original crease. And go ahead and crease that. Okay, ready to put my card together. I'm going to put this piece on with dimensionals. And I'm going to turn it sideways so I can see this top part a little bit better. So I'm leaving that 1/8 inch border on the top and sides. More dimensionals for this piece. And this one will have an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. Then we're going to put our flowers on. You can put them on with the mini dimensionals. You can put them on with mini glue dots. You can just put them on straight with a dot of liquid glue. Whatever you want, whatever's easiest. I don't think you want these in a super straight row. I'm kind of going off to the sides. And I'm saving this top place for the bow. Maybe I'll put one more here. Then we'll add some rhinestones to fill that in. They add quite a bit of sparkle. I'm using quite a few of them. I think 8 or 9 of them. Then I'm using Gidget's bow maker. You can get your bow maker by sending her $12. You can send it to her through PayPal. I just wrap a ribbon around the 2 posts and cross them. When whichever one's going on top, you go down and through and around and just tie a knot. And I often find that it's easier to go ahead and trim the bow while it's still on the bow maker. And I'll add a glue dot to that. Just slide it off and plop it on your card. And there it is, with the decorated envelope. So pretty. Here is the web address for this project, where you'll find the free detailed directions and links for the products I used. Just click the links and you'll be taken to my online store at Stampin' Up. Also on my website, you'll find a shop button. Under shop, you'll find products from Bev, shopping strategies, frequent shopper points, a link to my online store at Stampin' Up. When you click products from Bev, you'll find information about sharing my current products notebook in Evernote, and taggers. I started making taggers when all of those layering shapes came out, and it was so hard for me to figure out which one I used and how to tell somebody else which one I used. So I made taggers. Each tagger has the name of the dies, the item number, how many in the set, and each tagger has the size of that shape. I also sell my cardstock sampler, fine tip glue pen replacement tips, and large and small reclosable bags that I use for designer series paper, both the 6x6 and the 12x12. And I have a link for my friend's bow maker. Under inspiration, you can scroll my projects, look at the latest post, find out about the basics, which I've designed especially for new stampers, and techie tips. Under getting organized, you'll find links to stamp case slips, product labels, large labels, case inserts, ink refill cases, lots of coloring tools, a stamp pad storage solution for practically no money, catalog tabs, a quick reference, and a wish list with the catalog index, directions for my basic toolkit to go and my compact desktop toolbox. I have so many people looking for my Evernote current products notebook that I have a new tab just for that. You can find out how to share my searchable catalog. You can go to SIP Together and you can find out how to join my team so that you can either save money or make money. Thank you for stopping by. Talk to you soon.